It was a quiet evening, deep in the forest. Lila and Ethan, a young couple madly in love, strolled hand in hand under the towering trees. The world seemed to melt away as they laughed and whispered to each other. Their steps brought them to a clearing where an old, abandoned house stood, its broken windows catching the faint moonlight. Lila hesitated, laughing nervously. "You always find the creepiest places," she said. Ethan grinned, his adventurous side shining through. "There's just something special about places like this," he said. "It's like we're in our own little world." With that, curiosity won, and they stepped closer to the house. The door groaned as it opened. Dust floated in the dim light, streaming through cracked windows. The air was thick, and the only sound was their careful footsteps. Ethan broke the silence. "What happened to your sense of adventure?" Lila's eyes darted around, uneasy. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. Ethan shrugged it off, saying it was just the wind, but a faint whisper seemed to echo back. In a room filled with old, crumbling books, Lila's fingers brushed against a dusty diary. She opened it, revealing pages of delicate handwriting. "Ethan, check this out," she said. "It's a love story." The diary belonged to Eliza and Thomas, two lovers who once lived in the house. Their love was deep, but tragedy tore them apart. As Lila read the words aloud, the whispers in the room seemed to grow louder, almost answering the diary's story. Things began to move. A candle flickered before snuffing out. A chill crept through the air as faint footsteps echoed down the hallway. Lila clutched Ethan's arm tightly. "We need to go," she urged. But Ethan, his curiosity piqued, wanted to stay just a bit longer. Then, the door behind them slammed shut, and they realized they were trapped. From the shadows, a figure appeared. It was a woman, her translucent form shimmering, her face filled with sorrow. "Please, help me," she begged. The ghost introduced herself as Eliza. She explained how her lover, Thomas, had promised to return but never did. For years, she had been trapped, waiting for him. "Bring his locket from the graveyard," Eliza said. "It's the only way to set me free." Following the whispers, Lila and Ethan made their way to a nearby graveyard. The moon cast eerie shadows as they searched for Thomas's grave. After some time, they found it, marked by an old, weathered headstone. Beneath the soil, they unearthed a small box with the locket inside. As they turned to leave, the shadows around them seemed to come alive. Something was chasing them. Hearts pounding, they raced back to the house, barely escaping. Back at the house, they placed the locket on the table. Eliza appeared, her sorrow replaced by a soft smile. From the shadows, Thomas emerged, his figure becoming clear. The two lovers embraced, their forms glowing with a warm, ethereal light. "Thank you for bringing us back together," Thomas said. As their spirits intertwined, the room filled with a comforting glow. Then, just like that, they were gone. Lila and Ethan stepped outside, the cool night air grounding them. "That was the scariest yet most beautiful thing I've ever seen," Lila said. Ethan nodded, his voice low. "Love like that. It's timeless." They walked away, leaving the house silent and at peace for the first time in years. Do like and subscribe this channel if you love your puppy.